Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday evening, 8 p.m., and you're listening to the home of Commodore 64 remixes, Slay Radio. Let us spice up your evening with Slaygon's incoherent ramblings.
Anywho Hazel.
And Ziona's pro dance moves to the best selection of remixes, sits, and demo scene tracks. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this thing. Slay tuned.
Fiddly-dum.
Fiddly-dum.
Fiddly-dum. Hello.
So hello everyone. There is Slaygon speaking on the other chair.
Here, hi, and there, over there is Ziona. I hope we are audible and live everywhere and all of that mumbo jumbo.
Especially after you set up the rig again.
Yeah.
After coming back from last week, which we spent partially in Prague at the 8-bit Symphony Pro Kickstarter's recording session for a double CD full of Commodore 64 remixes performed by 82 members.
83.
83?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think it was 83.
Well, I heard 82 last time. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Well,
but they also
something.
said 85 anyway. It was 80 something, and a lot of people performed together those tracks. They were professionals, and we will share most probably even more details later on. And we did a short interview afterwards as well with the main participants of the project, but there were many participants of the project, so that would be difficult if we should name everyone.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of time because they had already planned in a dinner right after the recording session, so it took like half an hour to set the interview stage up and then do the recordings and all of that. So we kind of delayed their dinner by 1 hour. So, but
that was lunch, supposed to be
lunch. Yeah, sorry, lunch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But we will share more experiences today. And, what we can say, we are almost cured. Are you cured, Slaygon?
For the most part, yeah. I was coughing a little bit earlier at the office, so I had a neighboring dude come over and tap me on the shoulder and said, don't do that too loud, they'll come and get you.
Obviously. Well, today I went out for lunch, and let me tell you that someone in the middle of the street, 2 meters away from me, just had a cough exactly passing me, and no hands in front of the mouth, nothing. I just sometimes wonder how people can be so not considerate. Seriously. It's like I just cured. I think now I can say that I cured. Even I had a lot of nose blowings like last week when we participated in this event, but at least I wasn't sneezing around. That's good for others.
I think mine kind of peaked somewhere around there. I think it kind of started to take off right at the end of the event, and then kind of peaked on like Saturday or something. And on the flight back, my ear just was completely blocked, so it felt like it was going to pop entirely.
That sucks so hard to fly with a cold. It really is just horrible, and I don't recommend this experience for anyone. But sometimes I have this problem too, and on the way there I certainly had the same problem.
Yeah, a couple of times I had to actually reach out to my ear and check is it bleeding? Yeah, not, so I'm still fine.
And Martin, I think we counted in Robin Tate.
Yeah, he was in the interview.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Manganoid on YouTube says, "Don't worry, these modern viruses don't work on 8-bit peeps like you."
That's assuring. Thank you. We will try to avoid it, or at least I don't know. So do something against it. Everyone was sick around the offices as well in the past week, so it wasn't really difficult to catch something. And now I'm kind of happy that I went through it, but who knows, maybe I caught something else today because of this someone who wasn't considerate enough. You never know.
It's that kind of usually the same flu that just goes round and round this time of year. So it's kind of the peak of the influenza season as well. So you already got that, so you're fine.
That's great. Okay, then let's play a song as a start. What do we think
still
of that?
have a few things to sort out to get this
Keep
thing
sorting.
going.
You will have some time for that because...
Yes.
Okay. Because since it was such a great experience to see this orchestra live, and well, we technically don't really have an approved right now to play whatever they did there. However, we can definitely play Glyn R. Brown's 8-bit symphony version of Times of Lower. Yay, such a nice piece.
Boom.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't say yay because he will start to sing. But yes, it was a very nice piece made by Glenara Brown, Times of Lore. And the people are starting to gather on IRC and on Facebook as we could get used to it. And I don't know how is YouTube because you are the one who tries to follow YouTube.
Not a lot of action in there right now.
Mm-hmm. No, on YouTube people are rather watching.
No, sometimes it gets quite busy, but not yet. So we'll see what happens. It'll happen at some point. What the hell?
And Ziduder just said, this is nice, but it does make me feel like I've tuned into the local NPR classical music station. Don't be afraid, we are not only playing symphonic tunes today, so that's not that day, but definitely we will play some of your requests, so feel free to request. And now the requester is open. Of course, I didn't know that actually, because I think Boz made it happen earlier, that the requester was open half hour before.
Yeah, usually it does open half an hour before, but
LB Chip didn't manage to request a song.
Yeah, I noticed because it said no live show currently running, blah 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 thing. So I'm not sure exactly what is going on there. So I need to have a look at that too at some point.
You don't remember your own page's settings?
Yeah, it's not so much a setting; it's how it's coded. There is a setting for it, but that setting hasn't changed.
Yeah, that's why it's so weird. It is usually active like half hour before.
Yes, it
but
usually
anyway,
is. Like I said, I need to have a look at it.
Yeah, you have a look at it. Make sure you have a look at it. And yeah, it's I give you that either you like symphonic tunes or not, it's up to you, because I certainly know really good musicians that just can't stand symphonic music, which is weird, but they just don't like it. So
Yeah.
it happens.
I was one of them. I kind of could stand it, but I wasn't really into it. Nowadays, I'm more into it.
I guess everyone has to start somewhere. I remember that I wasn't crazy about it right from the start, but I think you just need a trigger, like a proper track, like a soundtrack of a movie, for instance. And then if you love it a lot, then it can be an entrance towards similar things. And then you realize that this genre is good.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how it happened with me as well. So there is hope for everyone.
Indeed.
Yeah, and Spawatch, there is no specific time for requests today. We do requests the entire evening, and there are no rules for requests. So we just chit-chat around about last week's experiences, what we can, maybe some current experiences too. I'm not sure about that, but there's a lot to talk about Prague as well. It's a very interesting city.
I think it's easy to sum up Prague. It's Thai massages, chimney cakes, and weed shops.
Cannabis marked
Yeah,
products.
cannabis shops, not
That
weed.
is more precise because about the legal status of cannabis there, it's still illegal, but the rules are a bit twisted there. So if you start to read after this, you will figure out that officially it's illegal, and there is a small amount that they barely define that is acceptable for someone to have, but not a big amount. So it's a very weird thing there. And the shops, especially the tourist shops, are full with cookies with cannabis, chocolate, bonbons with cannabis, also some absinthe cookies, which are very nice. Absinthe is originally from there, so obviously there are a lot of variants of absinthe. And if you haven't tasted it, make sure. Probably it's worth once in a life. And the green one is the original, but there are several color variants of that. And what else to say? Yeah, the chimney cake that you mentioned. It's also an interesting thing because
It's hollow. I thought it was gonna be full of ice cream. It wasn't. You had to push it down in there yourself.
but it was enough still. I mean, it was enough ice cream there. They love to combine chimney cake with ice cream on top and some toppings there, like chocolate and all of that. It's really nice, and it has like 1,000 calories, but it's totally worth to try. And I would say that chimney cake is an interesting thing because originally, I think, and of course I'm not entirely objective here, it originates from Transylvania, which means that it was part of Hungary that time, so it's a kind of Transylvanian Hungarian thing, but of course Czech people also claim that it's their invention. So this is the same with vodka, as the Russians and the Poles cannot get a final conclusion who invented that drink. But yeah, it's an interesting
and nobody
thing.
cares.
And nobody cares. Everyone enjoys. There are other cases when people start to care, but more about that later. And we have a request.
Oh, we do.
Well, we have several, but people make sure that you put in your requests now, because now there are plenty of slots and time, and we can line them up nicely if we have them properly. And Orlando said, "Hello, everyone. Hope everyone
Hello.
Hi. Hope everyone is doing well. I was wondering if you can please play Hazel and Eternal Light when the sky glows. Thanks in advance." Yeah, sure we can.
There's no doubt about it. There's some type of strange flashing red light ahead. I saw y'all attention it too. Weird. It appears that he may be moving a little bit this way. It's spreading that house bed. It's coming this way. It is definitely coming this way. out fast. Yeah, go ahead north. Here he comes from the south. He's coming toward us now. I'm observing what appears to be a beam coming down to the ground. This is unreal.
Beat the bass on the party, let's go.
Just what is it that you want to do?
Let's go.
Just what is it that you want to do?
Let's go.
You thought that the sinus kick drum is missing at the end.
No, it was there. I
Right.
was just repeating it.
I see. Okay, that's nice. So yeah, and Michael Wildhagen asked if the chimney cakes were clean. Well, yes,
No, they were very dirty with ice cream.
they're all dirty with ice cream and Nutella inside. It's horrible. So no, the
Looked
original
like shit.
The original chimney cake is obviously without ice cream. That's the traditional one is mostly with cinnamon, and then of course several variants were born afterwards. So I think I have eaten a coconut one. I'm not a big fan of cinnamon, so cinnamon things are like, yeah, we are getting along, but not that much. So I would rather go for other variants like chocolate, coconut, and all of that. But yeah, they had these later too.
Yeah, mine was a bit darker than yours. The actual chimney thingy, some blueberry thing, or what was that? I can't remember now.
Ah, you had a blueberry one.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I had a Nutella with vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, mine had Nutella in it as well.
Nom nom nom. Yeah, I still could have it, even if I'm completely not hungry. But I could have one. Yeah, but anyway, and they have nice food as well. Of course, you have to make sure that you go to the proper restaurant. Unlike us at the first day, the very first day when we arrived exactly in the middle of the lunch break. Therefore, we did not have much time to go out and have a proper lunch. And we did the most shameful thing ever that can happen, in my opinion, if you visit another country and you want to experience local cuisine and all of that. Burger King.
It was
Shame.
perfect. It was a
Yeah.
jalapeno burger.
At least I had a local variant of some sort of bacon cheese fries, which was very interesting and nice. But I definitely think that this is the last thing ever that you should do when you visit a country. They have so many things to offer and you have so many things to discover, and you have like 3-4 days maximum.
Yes, and we only had a very, very short period of time to actually eat anything. So
Yes,
would you
I
rather
know.
have not eaten?
That was the only reason why I agreed to go there.
So don't complain.
I'm not
It was
complaining.
food.
It
Yeah,
was
I'm
food.
not complaining.
And we look very blurry on the cam, by the way. Just so you know, we look very blurry on the Facebook cam. Something must have happened.
Yes, something did happen, and I don't know what, but everything is fucked up. Could you reach out your hand towards the camera and pull it back towards yourself, to your face? Hold on.
Nothing
Yeah.
is happening. Nothing is happening.
It's a bit kind of non-specific problem. Fuck it. We'll just run it as it is right now. It's fine. Let's see.
And Michael also has, where is his Neve? The beautiful, what's the English word for that?
Console?
Console? You say console for that?
Yeah, the Neve console.
Oh my god, I would say,
Button holder.
a mixer, like mixer desk kind of.
Yeah, but it's a console. Or a mix console, or whatever.
Yeah, okay, but anyway, there was those beautiful knobs and sliders and everything. I just love them. I really enjoyed the studio session since we could get in. Meanwhile, the guys, Christopher Rob Howard and Alice there supervised the session from the control room. The control room was also very interesting because it looked like a spaceship, and we posted some pictures of that. So if you
I was just waiting for someone to say, make it so, or engage.
Well, they said it actually.
Okay,
They
how?
were asking when is the rocket launching and all of that, or was the rocket launch?
Yeah,
well,
but someone in the room to say, make it so, for the next song or whatever.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
just like Picard does.
And if it comes to the next song, then I can play a next song. Imagine, I have the power to do that.
By the way, we're gonna play a Glenora Brown song, one more at least, called "The Recovery" because that's the name of the show.
Ha!
And we could have actually started with that, but it only hit me now. But anyway, this is show number 2200.
2200.
Yes.
That is so cool. Nice history you have. I like that. Okay, so I think I lined up LP Chip's request now.
Oh, you did.
Yes. Hello, Ziona, Slaygon. Let's have some awesome music tonight. We need Moog. Of course, we need Moog. And how about some awesome Sid Factory one? Thank you.
It is awesome indeed. dun. Oh, oops. Oh.
What?
Where are we? Hello. Hi. Oh, there we are. Oh, didn't find us. I
you looking
lost
for
ourselves.
There we are. Here we are. My God. So
I lost ourselves.
that's not good. Let's try to find ourselves before the end of the show if we can. Shall we? Ah, that was a lovely request. Thank you very much.
Moog is always good. And yeah, Facebook is very fucking blurry. I don't know. YouTube seems fine at 1080 at least, but... oh, Alpa joins us on
Nice.
YouTube.
Hi.
Hello, Alpa.
Nice to see you
Hello.
around.
Jalapeno. Are we getting to jalapeno again?
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, if it comes to you. And in that regard, I have something to announce too. You can not only get used to spicy food, but you can start to love it. It just happened. 36 years old, being 36 years old, finally I like spicy food. And the reason is because it was treating my cold very well. So anytime I had some, I wasn't really struggling afterwards. So it was very useful and I started to like it. So from now on I can join the guys' company when they have the spiciest chicken madras ever.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't mind. Maybe I would not participate in the show though that we used to watch. Like, what is that? Eating the spiciest food. Like not only food. Like tasting the most spicy kind of flavors ever with the. I don't know, 10 levels of spiciness is there, and the YouTube blogger is doing that.
Like hot wings or hot
and
talk or whatever it's called.
He invites famous people there. Halle Berry was there. And
Gordon Ramsay swearing his way through all the wings.
Yeah, exactly. And they are swearing their way through, and they are sweating, but they usually go through it somehow or struggle through it. Okay, maybe not that spicy level. That would be, no, not for a beginner like me. But you can certainly start to like things that you didn't before. It always makes me wonder in that regard. It's like fantastic. We can change. People can change. Even taste can change.
It can.
It can.
Yeah. For instance, with the change of taste, I used to hate whiskey. Thought it smelled and tasted like puke. And the funny thing is, I was at a party on a Friday, and someone offered me a specific brand of whiskey that I just thought was vile and smelled and tasted like puke, like I always thought. And funnily enough, the day after, went to another party and got offered the same exact brand and age of the whiskey and everything. But now it smelled awesome. I was like, what the hell?
I still don't understand how it can smell awesome.
Well, no, nor could I.
Yeah.
It was vile. It was just smelled like puke. I couldn't understand why people was drinking that shit. But then it just flipped.
I understand the previous you. In that regard, I don't know when I'm going to be mature enough to like it. But the same thing happened with me and Cabernet Sauvignon as a wine. No, Cabernet Franc. Sorry, that was a bit of a stronger type of red wine. And I just, when I tasted it, I just didn't understand, and it was one of the best of the best. So it wasn't even a shitty one. And yet still I didn't understand. And a few weeks later, I started to crave it. This is so weird. Like,
yeah, it's my distaste for whiskey was so weird to one of my friends that we actually went to Denmark on the boat here in Gothenburg and bought like I don't know 7 different kinds of whiskey, and he just picked everything from the cheapest to the most expensive and thought one of these you have to like. Just nope, 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 none of them.
There's no have to in like. That's it. And well, what I have to do now, actually, it's a have to. I have to play a song, but it's a
You
very
have to.
I have to. It's a very interesting request, and it's from Martin Land, and he asks, how about a nice selection from Slaygon's new album, DJ's, aka Slaygon's Choice.
Oh.
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 I don't know. How about Knucklebusters featuring Vangelis Papadopoulos?
Well, it's a nice choice. I understand why you have chosen this particular one. So here you go, Martin. those badass guitars. My God.
Yeah, Vangelis is really fucking good.
Yeah, definitely. And the dude is also very good who did the bass of the music.
The bass.
The
Pow, 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 pow.
The basis of the track. Really nice. So yeah, I hope that this will do, Martin. And the LP Chip just happily announced that his music reached the Nintendo Switch.
Nice.
Yep, because a year ago he made music for a game called I Am Ball, and
I am bold.
I Am Ball. It's like I Am Ball. I guess it's like a bouncy ball, right?
Oh, ball.
Ball. Not a bowl that you
No,
eat
ball.
from. I'm sorry.
Ball. Ball, not bowl.
Ball.
Ball.
Misunderstandings between us. This is a generic discussion that happens every day. And people keep asking me why we are not talking in Swedish. Oh, I wonder. Anyway, available on Steam and on Spotify too. And Nintendo accepted the port to the Switch, and it will come out 4th March. So really cool, and congratulations, LP Chip. It's really nice to see that. It's like that's really a big thing. It's definitely wider audience. Definitely. So big success and all of that. And what are you doing there?
This.
Wow. Can you change the color of that?
Well, with a filter, I can.
You have a filter, but it's manual, right?
Yes, it's just a kind of sheet of this.
Yes, I know. Yeah, don't ruin the illusion how cool our studio looks like. We have a lot of colorful things thanks to Jonas, obviously, who made the light settings for the studio.
Yeah, the blue light that you have behind you is one of those LED signs I ordered.
Oh, right. Yeah, right,
That's
that
cool.
one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. It took some time. That's also a generic thing that happens.
And also have one of these.
Yeah, and that's not blue. That's very white.
Yeah, that's very white.
Oh, and we have great things, still great things to announce. No, anyway, one great thing for sure, that the Remix64.com Roti Awards 2019 with Steph and Kevman will be played on Synset and splitted. Also, Slay Radio will broadcast it, right?
Yeah.
So
as usual,
we will do the usual split broadcast for this, and it's scheduled on the 7th March, Saturday, and it's from 8 until 11. So if you want to hear the summary of the last year and the winners of the categories, and of course the top 3, and well, even more, we will see how the guys will do that, then definitely tune in to either of our stations, and then you can enjoy the Remixer of the Year Awards 2019. So yeah, it's quite unusual that it happens now in March. It's a late Roti Awards. It's usually in February. So but just so you know, you book your time on that Saturday if you want to hear it live, and you can also join on IRC to Remix64 channel, right? Am I right on that?
Yeah, it's none of our regular channels, so we kind of get together in the Remix64 channel.
Yeah, exactly. Just for the purpose of this show. Usually this is how it happens. So
it's a bit of a flash mob, and just pop in there and pop out.
Yeah, exactly. And then everyone lives their lives until the next year when it happens again. And we switch each year. So this year is Synset's turn, and the guys will do it, and next year will be our turn again. So, well, let's hope that we had a great year, and I'm gonna be really curious about the
Yeah, and let's
Finish
hope we
line.
got plenty of votes. I seem to remember there was some issue with the voting, but I guess they'll go into that during the show. Don't want to say too much because I haven't been involved in those discussions after they were initiated, basically. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
What happens?
Really curious about that. So I already booked the time slot in my head. I'm not going to do anything else on that Saturday. I mean, in the evening at least.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
And Lee Bolton just joined us on YouTube and said, let's go for ribs and back to the Twilight Zone bar.
Oh my God. Oh, we have to mention that too.
Yeah, well, then there's the other, well, the first night as well that we need to talk a bit about.
Yeah, it's
Oh, well, actually, wasn't that the
it
first
was
night?
the second night, I think, not the
Oh,
first
yeah.
one.
The first one was...
Sleeping.
Was it?
The first one was like a very early going to sleep.
Oh,
Yes,
right,
because,
yeah, 7 in the evening.
and we were exhausted, I think, both you and me, but especially you.
Yeah.
And we went, well, after the recording session that ended at 6, usually, it generally ended at 6, right?
Every
Not
day,
right.
yes.
Every day, yeah.
Except for Friday, which was at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it was happening
2
from
o'clock or whatever.
9 sharp until 6 sharp, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for 2 days, and then the third day it was a half day session. So 2.5 days of recording, and the first night for us was like a complete. We just went back to the hotel, which I don't want to say who reserved the hotel, but it was 80 meters away from the place. So, anyway,
It was me. Oh, wait.
It was a good
Of
location.
course, it wasn't me. You always reserve the hotels.
We have our rules. You order the food, I reserve the hotels. That's it. So yeah, that's what generally happens. And yeah, we returned and completely passed out after like a few drinks, and we kept sleeping until the next morning when you finally had set up the broadcasting gear. And I think we are talking so much that maybe we should
let's play a track.
song. Yeah. So Bitin requested Dafang and Beyond the Tears of My Heart.
Oh, such a nice track.
Indeed. thank you for this request. It was so nice and relaxing.
Indeed. And Alpa is letting us know that an anagram for Remixer of the Year is Hooray Extreme Fire! I don't know.
I'm confused.
You don't know what an anagram is?
I know what an anagram is. I guess it's the shortening. So I mean, not the shortenings, the first letters of the, isn't it?
No, it's when you use all the letters of the words. You can get out of if you reorganize the letters of Remixer of the Year, you can get Hooray Extreme Fire!
I like that. Wow.
Welcome to the Hooray Extreme Fire show.
How brainy and creative you have to be to recognize this. I never was good at this, actually. when they give you these tasks like find the word that is hidden in this couple of letters, it's not my thing. It's just not my thing.
I used to be good at that, but I kind of let it go a little bit. And then the adds, the show will be lit. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hopefully so.
But back to Lee for a little bit and our night out in Prague. Yeah, those pubs, they have pubs that completely amazed us because they have a complete underground world there. And I mean literally under the ground. Like you go down there. The guys almost got lost in that labyrinth that they got to.
Yeah, we were. I was just going to the toilet and noticed a kind of a hole in the wall, and there was some light coming from there. I thought, well, what's this? And there's this stairs going down. So, oh, Lee, come here. Let's go down and see what's down there. And then we had to ask our way back out because we got lost.
Yeah, it's a complete labyrinth. It's a dungeon kind of part of pubs. And we learned that it's not only that place, it's actually several. I think that those dungeons or like halls were kind of built way before. They might be really useful during World Wars probably, and now they created pubs out of them. And where we have been, people were smoking indoors, actually indoors, down there in the dungeon part, not upstairs, of course. But we were also very surprised about that because, well, at most of the places, smoking indoors is forbidden already. So Sweden was quite early in that, like in the 90s. Hungary joined later. I think it was around 2012. But I think this is the generic rule, like in the middle of Europe as well right now, that you cannot smoke indoors in pubs and restaurants. And
and in the morning after, for the next day of recordings, I had entirely lost my voice when I woke up.
That was so lovely, especially because that was the day.
The silence, finally.
Yeah, that was the day when I don't know how we figured this idea out because I did not prepare for it, and probably it will be visible anyway. But let's make a short interview with the guys after the session because they are all still here, and it would be so great to hear some of their experiences, how the recording went, and how they feel. And well, his voice was gone, so I had no choice but being like on my own.
Well, I was sitting next to you as moral support, but it looks a bit stupid. So I'm just sitting there saying basically fuck all during the whole interview. I'm editing that whole footage right now, so it'll probably be out in about a week or so, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, especially that you are still doing hard work on doing it and cutting it together. And yeah, I think he will do a great job with that. And well, I did not feel very confident when I started to do this thing, since like you kind of have to deal with the fact that you are now interviewing Chris Abbott, Rob Hubbard, Robin Tate, and Alice there together, and then you are sitting there. I prepared with questions, of course, and I dedicated some time before, but I still didn't feel prepared enough.
Well, good
so
thing
sorry
that,
about that.
Yeah, well, good thing that Chris just took the baton and ran with it.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he was
that is
he was
very
basically
true.
doing the interviewing anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. So they
And
run.
and even
they
if
run
I
it.
hadn't lost my voice, I think I would have mostly just sat there and said nothing because everyone was talking. Robin, once you got him going, there was no stopping him. He just kept going.
Yeah, it was so lovely to hear all the experiences. So,
Yeah.
guys, it's going to be fun. I'm just, curious when it will be complete and coming out, because either next week or the week after, I guess, and then we will see.
Yeah.
But we recorded everything, even the video. So
Even the video.
even the video, not only the audio. So
Yeah.
it's going to be, interesting. So,
Yeah, we'll upload it on YouTube and possibly on Facebook as well, but I think only YouTube.
yay.
And the lovely tall American David Yude, who we met at the recording sessions, joined us
Aw,
on Facebook.
hi.
Hello, David. Hi.
Nice to see you around, indeed. So,
Andy Vessels is playing Jamiroquai, Deeper Underground.
yeah.
I'm going deeper underground. Got a nice groove to it, though. Yeah.
And Lorraine advised us to go back to this underground pub, but we were at so many places that we just couldn't make it happen. According to her opinion, the DJ was playing around with all types of tracks after each other. So once country, then jazz, then just you name it.
Yeah.
It's like a wide variety of selection in the middle of the night. But they have stayed until like 4 a.m. We did not allow this luxury to happen because we wanted to be able to wake up in the morning in order to broadcast the last day of the recording session. So we left at 1:30. Wow, we are so good. Oh my God. We went to sleep so early. Anyway, it was fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a good experience.
And we had I don't know if I should brag with this. We had the pleasure to have a beer not only with Lorraine
I thought we'd take
Lee,
that on the
but-
next link because we already talked a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's brag later. And now a request from Baranalian, who wants to hear Peter W. and Outrun No Speed Limit Mix.
Bum, ba, da, bum, bow.
Bum, bum, bum. This is an appropriate amount of kick drums, I think.
Indeed.
Right.
Peter W.
Yep.
Awesome.
So where were we? We were,
Thursday,
yes. And then-
after the recording session, we went out with Lee, Lorraine, Rob Hubbard, and his wife for some dinner.
a couple
and
of beers and dinner. Yeah. And Rob is actually a person. So it's just I would like to announce that he is a very nice person. And Slaygon got into a kind of not argument, but it was a very nice discussion.
Discussion about all the problems we have in the world, about anything from global warming to overpopulation and quantum physics and all sorts of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Slaygon basically gets very philosophical and adamant about his views when he drinks a couple of drinks, right?
Well, I still have those views when I'm sober, like
Yes,
now.
I know.
Ask me about quantum physics and you'll notice.
Yeah, but you were a bit less adamant on them. Anyway, it was fun even to listen. And next day, Rob was asking me, Kenneth is a smart one, isn't he? Well, he is.
He introduced me to who was it? I can't remember, but he introduced me to someone in the control room. And so, this is Kenneth. He's a brainy one.
Yeah, indeed, the brainy one. My boyfriend. Oh. Anyway, yeah, it was fun and absolutely lovely. And I guess as we were talking about many things, but also it was interesting to hear some stories about how they got back from the US because they were living there for a while.
Yeah, 13 years in the US.
And I think it's always interesting, especially when you switch countries, what are the reasons for that and how. Once you did that or tried to do that once or twice, then you will probably appreciate a lot of stories regarding this because it's always different for everyone and each case can be different. But
Yeah, and Rob kept saying, "Thank you, Trump," because his stocks and whatnot were doing really good. I did tell him, though, that they will drop with the coronavirus stuff going on, and lo and behold, has dropped, 1,800 points in the past few days.
well, and many things will happen probably because of that single virus, which still makes me wonder that there are like 80,000 something infected people now, and of course you cannot.
What did you say?
80,000.
Yeah.
And from this, around 2,000 some numbers died, which, if you check at the death rate,
2,813.
813. Okay, so it's still
2,813. Yes, 3.4%.
Yeah, I think it's still 3.4% death rate, which certainly there are more deadly viruses out there than this one, but due to the fact that it spreads so easily, right? Because it doesn't really need to be close to a being actually to spread, and it can remain alive for 28 days on several surfaces. I think that is the issue here, probably. Not the death rate, because, well, even if we get it somehow, it's like we have, like, right now, it looks from the numbers that we have 3-4% chance to die. But then it involves, like, other illnesses, right? So usually those people have other problems as well.
Usually.
So they come together, but...
Like that doctor who warned about this, for instance, who died. he didn't have any other illnesses as far as we know.
Okay.
So it's not only that, and he was somewhere like in his late 30s or something like that. So
Yeah, not to mention many of misinformation is still out there because we don't know enough of it, and
it's too early to say anything conclusive anyway.
and people are kind of trending with all content related to that. So basically, it's like everyone is curious when it comes to this, and some of them are preparing with cans, tons of cans, like they don't go out to the street, which I don't know, still interesting. Yeah, still we don't have enough information probably to judge that, but there is the first Gothenburg case registered
3
today,
of them.
I think. 3?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. It was 1 today. So what
now,
happened?
now it's 3.
Oh my
Because
god.
2 of his friends or whatever apparently were also
At the Eastern Hospital.
Huh?
You mean at the Eastern Hospital, Östra sjukhuset.
Oh, yeah, Eastern Hospital doesn't mean anything.
Well, okay, that
It's
I
like
just
saying-
translated the Swedish variant.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
can't really do that.
Why not? It's technically Eastern Hospital.
Yeah, sure, but you can't translate names like that. It's Östra sjukhuset.
Well, if I say Östra sjukhuset, a lot of people outside Sweden won't understand what's going on. So
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a name of a hospital.
anyway,
They know it's a hospital, and that's enough.
yeah.
But
Okay.
anyway, yes, let's talk about something fun instead. Michael Wildhagen asks what our overall impression was with the recording process and the being live in the same room as the orchestra.
Being live in the same room as the orchestra, I had a look of our broadcast afterwards, and but the problematic part is that all those fine details are not really coming through that much when you are listening through a single microphone, which we kind of tried to broadcast through.
Yeah, that was actually a bit surprising that it picked up the sound as well as it actually did in the room.
Yeah, it was a nice performance from that mic. I'm just saying that, oh my god, being live there is like, you cannot compare to listen to a recording or like a live concert experience unless the recording is really, really proper, like the studio did there. Fantastic, like really being there is in the same room, and it wasn't even too loud. I expected that it will be too loud, but it wasn't too loud. It was exactly pleasant for the ears, and standing there, being there was like, I was enchanted completely. And I was so afraid that I might need to blow my nose like in the middle of the session. So sometimes I just sneaked out because
I was very close to actually sneezing during one of the
my
recording
God.
passes there. I was just really struggling, holding it back. But yeah, I agree. Overall, being in the same room during the recordings was... it sounded better than I expected, actually. Because of the way the whole orchestra is set up in there, it's not like you would set up a live orchestra exactly, because you still need to separate the percussion and all of that behind that screen at the back, because it's quite loud. In a live setting, it would be different, but because the microphones are closer to all the players, you get more of the detail in how they play and all of that. So I presume they play slightly different or something, I don't know, in a live setting rather than when you're recording. I'm not sure, but to me it sounded like they weren't playing as loud as you would in a live setting.
yeah, okay, that might be true. I think like many things must be different in live settings, and I guess that's a lot of details. Maybe we should play a song first and then talk about this, because it was really interesting learning experience for us too.
Yeah, we can play maybe a song from the renders.
Oh yeah, sure.
That we got before the Prague thing.
Can I play William Wobbler?
Oh, of course you can.
Yay! Thank you. For some reason, it's such a cute song. I cannot resist. It's just, I don't know. Probably this is not my favorite though from the entire. I love it. It's just so cute.
It's very, 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 very cute.
Irresistibly cute.
Mm-hmm. Martin Land asks, one thing, I didn't watch everything that really interests me. Has any of the pieces been recorded in one complete take or several? Or did they just stop when they had to and continue with the next section? At the start of the day, or rather when they started on a new piece that hadn't been recorded at all yet, they tried to run it through from start to end. And then they went back and did separate sections for that, just to get a feel for the piece and the tempo and kind of the difficulties in the different sections and such.
And I think that this is an excellent question, because this is exactly what I wanted to talk about as well. It surprised me a lot, but it makes a lot of sense that they record most of the times the takes of the songs, like not the entire song. If you have followed the broadcast, you see that they restarted several times the sections, and we have to add here that they played those songs for the first time ever. They are professional, so they really knew what they are doing. And of course, sometimes some things had to be adjusted, like do it stronger, do it softer, or whatnot. But it's like
change tempo, that sort of thing.
Exactly. But other than that, they played these most likely for the first time, and it actually makes a lot of sense when you hire such a big orchestra, that they do the takes like several times and part of the songs several times.
Yeah, it's what you do when you record anything, really, and that's what I've historically been doing when I do vocals. For instance, I do try to do one complete set from start to end, and then kind of go back and do sections. to get the proper feel and the dynamics or expression or whatever it is you are looking for in that section particularly.
Yeah.
Because it's a difficult thing to do a song from start to end in one go. I don't think I know of anyone who actually records everything from start to end all the time, like do several takes of that, but actually goes back and does sections.
Yeah.
Except Ryan, of course, because he's a weird man. Weird man. He just starts and then records an entire album in 70 minutes and done. And it takes him 70 minutes to write the songs on the fly, and yeah, he's amazing.
Yet still he has an album that haven't been prepared in 13 years, which is funny enough.
I think it's like 17 years now.
17? Oh my God, okay.
It's been going on for a while.
Well.
I think it was like 10 years when I got to know him. So yeah, it must be some 17 years or something by now.
My God.
It's been a while.
Yeah, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense to record and takes, and also time is money here, like a lot of money, and we are talking about a lot of people and a professional studio, so obviously you want to have the best take, and you kind of individually record the takes, and you will choose the one that appeals the most. Steak.
Best steak.
No one is at stake here. No,
Best
anyway.
steak.
I'm sorry.
And Michael Wilhagen says, just to add a question on top of my first one, does it bring you in any way forward when composing orchestral stuff in the future, because you saw a real orchestra doing its thing? And in a sense, what it does, or did, at least for me, that's why I tried to spend as much time in the room with the orchestra as possible, is to study like the violin players or violas or cello and that sort of thing, to see how they use the instrument, and basically what kind of expressions you can get out of the instrument, and where they meld kind of into this harmonious thing that is so nice to hear in orchestral music, is when you have this kind of a synergetic kind of effect of several sections playing together, that creates this kind of paints this picture of instead of hearing individual instruments, you hear a texture of the combined sound, and it's the balance between the instruments and the way they play that I thought was very nice to see in action. I tried to study that on the Hull concert as well, but we were sitting quite far away, so you couldn't exactly see the techniques used and hear the individual players. So here you could actually hear the individual players if you needed, but then you can just open your ears, so to speak, and listen to the entirety of the context or the texture it creates together with all the other instrumentation. So yeah, I think definitely it's gonna make some, or there's gonna be some changes to my orchestral template for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can imagine how some impact it can have. And we have a nice request lined up here, and a funny one. No idea if Kane is around or will be around, but
he was on YouTube earlier. He hasn't said anything in a while though.
Okay, the silent one. So Ziduder had a request in the following way. Hello Ziona and Slaygon, welcome back. Thank you, Ziduder.
Hello.
I would like to ask you to play more this Sweet featuring Jeeps remix, specifically for Kane, so he will accept that it's the best version of sweet once and for all. Thank you.
Is that
like
how
that.
you convince people that something is the best? Is that how you get this request flood for gung on the rotational? It's like, this is the best ninja.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. So let's play the song.
And this one goes out to Boswank. Oh, wait.
So you really had to add this.
Yeah, it's part of the Blade Runner thing.
Oh. Oh my goodness. But yeah, now Kane got his version as well. So he can't can't have requests today. No. As last time he said, we ignore his requests, which is never true. But never mind. We don't feel hurt at all.
Now he got one.
Exactly. Take it or leave it. Anyway. Yes, you said the studio's owner will be part of the interview too. To Michal, reacting to Michal on Facebook. And
yeah, I don't know about the players. I think the first violinist who is actually running the orchestra itself,
who looked a bit like
keeping
Vincenzo.
them in check. Yeah, exactly. It looks exactly like Vincenzo and talks like Vincenzo and all of that. So he might actually be one of those that knows the stuff as well. Who knows? We never actually asked him.
Yeah, we don't know. We got several questions like how much they can relate to the music that they play, how do they feel about that project and all of that. And I got even a request of a friend like, can't you just do like a photo, a group photo of the orchestra when this entire recording happens? No, you can't. Let me tell you. It's like, no, it's like...
We did.
Yeah, not all that way. Yeah,
I
we did
know.
when they are playing. But
And we got a meta picture as well. This American dude took a picture of us while we were taking a picture of
that is very true.
us.
Yeah, that was an awesome selfie. Maybe it will appear in some future promo. Who knows? But anyway, it's a very funny thing. Sharp at 6, since it was work for them. It's still work, even if they performed amazing. It was strictly work for them, and their task wasn't to relate to the music or living through it or whatnot, but just play it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and the friend of mine, no, it wouldn't take more than 2 minutes. Let me tell you, it would. It's like 80 plus people organizing them into rows, how they can pose, and besides, when their work time was over, they instantly went off.
Like the first day it was 17:57 and 30 seconds. VTech from the control room said, could you play this or that section? Go from B, 1 bar prior. And then they do that and then stopped exactly at 1800 and 0 seconds.
Exactly.
And then everyone just fucked off.
Yeah.
Second day, I think they stopped. I actually have that on the stream because I switched on the mobile phone and went to the clock and it said 17:59:48 or something like that.
Yeah, so now it's like, I know it sounds like an easy task to organize a few people to do a group photo, but in this case it just really wouldn't, and they weren't pay for that, and they were playing as long as they could, of course, within the time frame, and then they left instantly. Like, they left the room instantly after it finished. So no, we wouldn't be able to make that happen. And yeah, it's an amazing experience for us, and most probably it was some nice working hours for them, realizing that these 64 tunes have something in them, right? But also, I don't want to spoil the interview, but that part is interesting, how much you can engage meanwhile you do this emotionally, because if you like this stuff, then you will be probably emotionally touched a little bit when you hear what's happening. But at least Robin said that you cannot be too emotionally too engaged, because you would lose focus.
Yeah.
So.
And you would miss kind of details. If someone plays something wrong or whatever, you might miss that because you're just experiencing the music rather than listening to the details in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I completely understand this, because since the time when I started to broadcast, I was like really nervous, and I like it. It boosts me up when I hear a music that I like a lot. But still, I also couldn't be too engaged meanwhile doing it, especially not in the first months, because it was all about focus, all about paying attention of the buttons and the knobs and what I forget, and did I leave the mic off, and all of that things that you really have to get used to. And once, of course, when you learn and you have the routine, then you can pay attention to the details, but until then it's loads of stress, like what I'm going to fuck up this time. So yeah, it's I think this is like a similar thing in that sense, except that I think for
not quite it's different from if you're playing your own pieces and you know it's an emotional song and you need to get the emotion out of it. But by the time you get to like a stage or a recording studio or whatever, you have played it so many times that you know how to play it emotionally on a kind of a technical level.
That might be true as well, yes.
And it's same with vocals. First takes are always like really emotional, and then you start noticing all the technical details in there that are wrong. Then you try to fix them, and then it becomes all too stiff then you need to kind of try to combine those two somehow. But after a while, you get those things right in a sense. Then you get the
sure.
balance correct.
Yeah, but it's like I understand. I meant that the rough fact is similar, that first you have to learn the basic principles and how you do something, and then afterwards you will get to a level where you can get really emotional, of course. But it takes time, and all these 10,000 hours that they say that whatever you do for 10,000 hours, you will be a pro in it. Or at least let's hope so. That's what motivators say. So and who knows? We got a nice seed request lined up.
Nice.
Nice. Is it nice? More than nice. It's not more than. It's Pavach requesting Flex and Space Debris Sid. Hannula Antti, right?
Antti Hannula.
Antti Hannula.
Why
Right,
Hannula
because
Antti? We actually have the names in the right order.
unlike Hungarians,
Yeah.
I know, love you. Hang on a minute. Yep, excellent cover of an Amiga mod.
Hi.
Yeah, you don't know because you don't hear the music,
do.
but you hear the music?
Mhm.
Do you? My
I do.
God, sorry, but yes, it's a really nice SID cover.
Indeed.
Some people are wondering if it's better than the original one. And you would say certainly it is better because you don't like mods that much.
Well, not really.
Not really.
There's some good ones out there, but I kind of prefer the SID. It's like Marcel's early work print, more emotional.
I see. Are there any updates on the copyright issues with this? Because I think we will also again get a copyright notice on one of the suites because that moron.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
We don't know.
We don't know. Yeah. Okay.
I guess we'll notice after the thingy.
Yeah, but I got a very useful link today of how to copyright your music from a friend called Artlace. Works in the same building as you do. And yeah, it might be actually useful for the people. Maybe I will share it because it's technically it doesn't even cost that much, or I don't know. There are like several versions there, and you can also claim that your work is Creative Commons. And then it's under Creative Commons umbrella somehow. But yeah, it's a tricky one. So yeah, it's important to be able to protect your work, I guess, even if you don't think you are the best musician in the world. But you know, these stealings in the world of YouTube and everything, they just know.
Yeah, especially with that asshole Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan Gold. Still, the dude's name is Jordan Gold. If you want to report him anytime, just do it.
He made a living out of stealing other people's music and presenting it as his own.
Yeah, how many remixes did he stole?
The ones I saw that were from the C64 remix scene were all the suites. So kind of put out, so I think it was Mordy's version, and a very long story about it, how he wrote it and all of that shit. And then he made a compilation album of different versions of the same song. Also, all of them downloaded from RKO.
Brave guy, brave asshole.
Not Gordon, Jordan Gold. Andy
Jordan
Vessels.
Gold, yeah. Unfortunately for me, he is a Hungarian and he claims to live at the other end of the globe or Thailand or wherever. I don't remember. And I have written a Hungarian message to him on Facebook. Not that it had any impact, I don't know, but seriously.
Yeah.
At least we tried.
Asshole is what it is.
Yeah. What a moron. Yes, Andy, he is. He
Yeah.
is, and yeah, let's make sure that we can be protected against these things. So let me check the link that I got today. Maybe I can just... Oh my god, I navigated away from the video again.
Yeah. Don't need to do that now.
Yeah, I will do it like during the next song is playing. Facebook's new user interface is a bit weird by acting right now. However, I really appreciate that they have a dark view implemented.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for mine to pop up because it's still not offering me a black one or a dark one.
Yeah, it's I guess it's like with every updates that they do. Probably the active ones receive it first, or I don't know what's their criteria to apply the changes. But a banner popped up for me that, oh, now you can try how the new Facebook view looks like and explore. And okay, then I pressed explore, and then I figured out that you can choose between bright and dark views. And I was really looking for that because I really hate that white backgrounds, especially in the evening or at night. I just like when the background of the program or the website is dark and the text is white. And I think that there are several of us out there with the same way of thinking.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And I loved it when Slack offered me that option.
yeah, I can imagine. So people stay tuned because Facebook's new user interface update is coming up and you will have a dark view. As you do with the iOS as well for a while now. If you have iPhones, I know that, well, that's probably not the best platform to mention Apple products because many of you don't like them. And it's obvious why they are not as much able to customize than the other alternatives. But I have to tell you that we have been in the Apple Museum as well in Prague.
All right.
That was a very interesting experience too.
Yeah, I realize how many fucking Apple products I've bought over the years or worked with.
Oh, all those bad memories. My God. I photographed him next to Steve Jobs' poster. Haha.
Yeah, and I was poking his nose.
Yeah, indeed. I did a lot of photos, and it's like, which year it was when they started to, they have like all the machines from 70.
Yeah, from the earliest Texas Instrument thing that he sold, so he could actually get some funding to get some parts that he needed to create the first Apple stuff, the Apple One, the one you kind of had to build yourself. So that was in the first room in the little glass thingy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they have had quite nice tour. Wasn't working on the website for me though after a little while, but yeah, it was like you could check all the devices, machines until 2012. It's a very well equipped museum and nice collection. So if you have an opportunity in Prague, even if you are not an Apple fan, you don't have to be an Apple fan. Actually, I'm not an Apple fan either. Even if I have a Mac and an iPhone, it's been a long time since I claimed to be a fan. There was such a time 10 years ago, but no, it's not about that anymore. But for me, the most interesting part was their approach right from the start, and to see all those machines, like it felt like so ahead of time, especially by design. And as you know, I'm a designer, so I kind of care how they look as well. Of course, the content is important too, but it's like it made me really wonder, because I saw most of those machines on photos, but to see all of them like live there, and it's like it was almost unbelievable sometimes that some of those were made in the 80s even. And I could imagine that they must have cost a fortune. And no, it's just, I was amazed. And what I'm still amazed about when it comes to them is definitely not the cable quality, because they do shitty cables, I have to tell you that, but the way how they implement the usage of the hardware and how it feels, the user experience, namely. It's just... yeah, I guess it tells everything that I have a work laptop, which is a Dell XPS, and it's quite a nice machine, but I hate the touchpad. I just hate the touchpad. I genuinely hate when I have to use it and I have to bring my mouse everywhere where I want to work with it, because I'm just not able to stand it. And still, after the Macs, those touchpads feel completely off. And no, maybe you can get used to it, but the experience definitely won't improve, and you cannot say it will get better. So that's my opinion about that. And I bought the most expensive mug of my life probably there. That was also... it's probably if she tells me the price first and I hear it right, then I would not go for it. But then when I already decided to have it, I said, fuck it. It was about how many euros? Hang on a minute.
Way too much.
Yeah, so actually, Prague is not an expensive city compared to Sweden or maybe the UK, but let me tell you, you can spend money there too. And
Oh, you certainly can, especially
you-
if you take the wrong taxi.
you can be fucked there too. Never take a taxi on the street. And don't be lazy, look up the official companies before. We
I
learned it
did.
on a hard way.
I
You even did.
I looked them up, like I explained to you.
Yes, you did.
I did look them up. It's just that we arrived in a very stupid time when the recordings had already started at 9 in the morning. And we needed to just get there. And the only taxis that were lined up outside the airport were these fuckers. So yeah.
He was such a nice looking guy. You wouldn't even think that he fucks you up. Seriously. I mean, I know I can be naive sometimes, but he was really looking like someone genuinely nice. And then in the end, we got a Swedish price of a taxi. And we didn't even wonder because, well, the guy was obviously asking where we are from. And he visits Sweden regularly, so he knows the prices there.
Yeah.
So I guess we were...
Or here.
Yeah, sorry. We were the perfect victims for a little fuck up there, so we got a Swedish price as an end. And then later on, we learned that the official price is half as much. So great. I never do that. Yeah. Piece of advices. Yeah, and other than that, I guess it was a nice stay. Yeah, and we got plenty of tips from him, which was also nice because he knows the city very well. So
Yeah, we went to the beer museum as well, which was nice, but we can talk about that later.
yes, let's
we have
talk
a song
about
we can
that
play?
later. Yeah, we have a nice song lined up. Manganoid wants to hear Johan Andersson.
Johan.
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 My God.
Play that guitar for me now, please.
Yeah, in his case, I don't even have to tell the song because you know that there will be guitars on it. But
Yeah.
Johan Andersson.
Anderssons.
It drives me crazy, this Swedish RS relation. Johan Andersson's Rumbo Loader second attempt. certainly some guitars are in there.
Chickadee-ding. And I just got my nose blown. Well, didn't get my nose blown. I blew my nose.
I understood mine was blown.
Well, it could have been if that was the first time I heard it. But yeah, it's not a mind-blown type of track. It's just a nice head-bopping type of track, I think. Very nice.
Bopping. Okay, then.
Head bopping. Yes, and the Vessels Beer Museum in Prague.
Yeah, and about that you can talk even more. It wasn't, well, we weren't really in the museum itself, or, well, was that the name of the pub?
I guess it was the name of the pub.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we didn't really do much there. We ordered kind of a taster things with was it five or
Five.
six?
It was five. Yeah.
5 different beers, and you chose some fruity ones, and I thought I'd try the what was that? The mix one with all sorts of shit in there, like one dark one called Demon, I think it was, which was my favorite among
course.
those.
How else?
And a bunch of lagers and that sort of thing.
That sort of thing. In my selection there was a cider too. And it was good. Well, if you like cider, I have chosen the girly selection. It wasn't called that way, but it was obvious that it's that type of thing. And it's really, Prague is the city of beer as well in that sense, and the entire country. And why am I saying this? Because obviously there are several countries that are good at making beer.
There we go. Picture.
Oh yeah, there you go. You can even share it.
Nah. I am sharing it.
And now our cams got blurry again because of you. No, I'm kidding. But I don't know what happens there. Anyway, you definitely have to drink beer there. And I did too. I'm not that much of a beer person, but of course in Prague you have to drink beer. That is a mandatory thing.
You just have to.
Just like you have to drink wine in Hungary, because Hungary is a wine country, and it was claimed by beer lovers that we are shit with beers. But that
Hungary
is another story.
Hungary is a whiny country.
Is a whiny country. Oh, that is true. Unfortunately, never mind. Let's not get into these details. But yes, in every matter. But it's. I would say that I enjoyed most of the selection of beers, even if I don't like beer that much. There were like 2 out of that 5 that I had to make my way through, but Slaygon was helping me in the end.
Yeah,
so.
it was horrible. I had to jump in and save those beers from going to waste.
Yeah, you absolutely had to.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, and make sure you get a nice selection of them. So obviously not only tasting one, but several would be the good way to go. And what else to keep in mind? I mean, it's like we didn't really have much time for sightseeing, but it's breathtaking. I have to tell you that it's so breathtaking. Last time, before this, I was there. It was 16 years ago. Yes, indeed, in 2004. Then I went for 4 days, and I was really amazed by how the city looks. And I was like starting to wonder, like, I love Budapest, but Prague is really in competition with it. Like, the architecture is similar. There are places that...
Really?
There are places, yes, and locations. There are places that are really well maintained, and I think what they do well is to maintain their buildings. Therefore, you have a bit more colorful view overall when you are downtown, and it is really beautiful. And it's like a wide variety of buildings, ornaments. Even the churches look very interesting. even that interesting that Slaygon actually got in, which is like he is probably the most far from religion as you can get, but we were really wondering about all those things. And
This is from inside one of the churches, the roof right next to the altar.
yeah,
Very nice.
yeah, and I'm not
And
messaging.
I found my new home, I think. So this is my new home right there.
Oh wow, that's
You see that right there? Yeah.
quite a little house
Yeah.
there.
It's perfectly suited for me, I think.
You
There's
Dracula.
one tower for my studio, and the other one Boz can have.
I like Michael Wildhagen's question. Most important question: do they have sushi restaurants there? Of course they do.
Yuck.
Obviously they do. But as I would say, it's probably is not the sushi that I would go for at the first place. I love sushi. I really admire sushi, but that wouldn't be probably the first to try. So I would go for authentic cuisine if possible, and discovering everything local in that matter. But yeah, I agree that sushi restaurants are mandatory to have.
And we found something for Boswank there, namely this. Oh, sorry.
Dark screen.
Yeah, I know.
he found.
There we go.
Oh yeah, right.
So yeah, it's,
Oh my god.
that's for Boswank.
Yes, that's that. Yeah. We also have
we
to.
didn't get it though, unfortunately.
No, because we don't know when we're gonna meet him. But
Yeah.
that's the only reason why we didn't get it. It's like they had chocolate penises in all sort of colors and forms and everything.
and boobs.
And it was in a place called Chocolate Museum. That was also called Chocolate Museum, right?
Museum, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like handcrafted chocolates. And oh my god, they are good with chocolate too. So you really have to go there. You really have to look that place up, because there are like a very wide variety of chocolate. And one of the simplest thing ever and the best, they have strawberries on a stick, and you can dip it into chocolate sauce, which is like, it's so simple. Anyone could do it technically, yet almost no one does. And it was fantastic. I couldn't resist. And I have to tell you, it was like one of the simplest thing and the best thing that I had there. So you have to try it out. And maybe we should play a song, don't you think?
Yes, Manganoid, I'm just going to answer him here. He says, sorry, but I got to ask this because I love languages and stuff. I didn't know Andersson was pronounced with SH. Is it like norsk? Norwegian, yes. That can be pronounced norsk or norsk. No, just SH, norsk, and Andersson.
Yeah.
And Andersson is Swedish, yeah.
Yeah, the thing with that is that you have a weird common trait with Poles, you Swedes. Not common, I mean, it's like, it's not, technically it's just almost the same. You combine R and followed by an S, and then you pronounce esh, and in Polish you combine R and Z and you will pronounce ż. So that is like, to me, that was such a similarity when I recognized this, like, they probably learned something from each other or something, like they combine those two letters and they create like something completely different that you wouldn't count on. And yeah, it's like Andersson is, this is why it's Andersson, because it's R and S after each other. So they are weird. But yeah, this is a very consequent thing in pronunciation, at least, so I can count on that it will happen with all the words that they use.
Yeah, and Boz joins us on YouTube. Did you see this, Boz? I found our new home. There's one tower for you and one... Oh, go fuck yourself. And one tower for me. Perfect, isn't it? It's perfect. There's Boz Radio HQ, and there's Slay Radio HQ right there. So it's perfect, isn't it?
planning
very nice.
your retired years, are you?
Why not?
Well,
if,
okay.
If Ryan can have a church, why can't we?
We can. You just forgot to ask me if I would feel great there. I rather prefer minimal design, but never mind.
Or we can build a square room in one of the towers or whatever.
Okay, then. Full on with IKEA stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Let's play DMC's request.
Yes, let's.
Then during that we will decide what our future home will look like. Anyway, and for now, something completely different, he says. DHS, how did we get stuck in Arabian bias? Pump up your subwoofer and blow down your hose. Okay then. Only if I had one more chimney cake ice cream. My God.
And yes, the subwoofer is really making a difference in here. That low boom in there really kind of reverberates through the room.
Cleans up your sinuses.
Yeah, maybe I should crank that bugger up and make it all go away. And just blow it all out.
Yep.
Just lie down next to it and then crank it up.
Yep.
I wonder if you could get some sort of CTE or whatever, head trauma, like damage to the brain by cranking it up too high and just let it rattle your brain.
Continuously doing it. Maybe you can. I would not be surprised if you would.
Or it could act as massage for the brain.
I love those. Yay.
On the brain?
On the brain, yes.
Like physical massage, not through your ears, but actual physical movement of the brain through the sound waves.
Sometimes some good music feels like it's massaging my brain, so I'm really okay with that.
Yeah, massaging your soul.
That is so nice. And yes, being in one room with an entire orchestra and that 83 people is also such an experience.
It was indeed.
Massaging my brain all the time.
Oh, yes.
And still the videos are available, right? I mean, our videos.
Yeah, they're still out there.
Okay.
I removed one of them because the sound problems, a 30-minute clip, the crackle thingy on, what was it, Friday morning, I think it was.
Okay. That's good to know, at least. But yeah, there are plenty of materials, and you can also check how a recording session happens in those, since we broadcasted the entire day of Thursday, right?
Yeah, entire Thursday and morning of Friday, and partly the afternoon as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting even from outside. However, of course, the audio is not giving back or not doing justice what happened to that room.
Yeah, definitely not through just one microphone. But again, I must say I'm surprised at how well it actually translated through that microphone.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. I did some processing on the audio though. I had ozone in there to process it slightly, so kind of gave a bit of stereo depth to it and that sort of thing. Cranked up the low end a little bit to kind of get more oomph. But not a lot. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah. That's also good to know, at least, when you evaluate the video. But yes, it's a really nice experience.
It was indeed. And again, very informative.
Also, it was a pleasure to meet with the main backers. So...
Yeah, how many were there on Thursday? I think like 7, 8 people, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. I haven't counted, to be honest.
4 of them from the US, I think.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, fantastic. And I had a friend of mine. They live in the UK, but they are a couple and they also came by. And I had a little opportunity to speak on our native language. So, yeah, finally, hi. I know the guy like since 99, I think, 21 years.
That's a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So back then, I don't even think that we discussed about any 64 remixes. Yeah, that's the thing. It was coming like 4 years later. But yeah, he was like around the demo scene, and this is how we know each other. So yeah, it was really quite interesting. And well, I just noticed that we are approaching the end of the evening.
Oh, not quite yet. We still have time to play Glyn's The Recovery.
Oh yeah, The Recovery. Yeah, we will play that. But first, we are playing Mr. Mask or Mr. Misk. I'm not sure. Mr. Msk.
Mr. MSK.
Mr. MSK, yeah.
In Swedish, Matved.
MSK,
Matsked.
his matsked.
Mr. Matsked. Anyway, he asks, can I get Yoshi's song by Daniel Andrzejewicz? Look at that, look at that.
Gesundheit.
Yoshi, and arranger is Anders Hesselbom. Anders Hesselbom is also Swedish, right?
It sounds very Swedish, yes.
I'm so surprised. So, Yoshi's song made by Anders Hesselbom. Just in time.
I know. Perfect, right?
You are great at timing.
And Michael Wildhagen says, thank you for setting up the streams and all that and broadcasting it from the thingy. It was fun. It's different from what we do from BitLive, for instance, because there we have microphones and the direct feed from the console and all of that. So this was quite a different setup and experience. I actually played some orchestral music, cranked up my stereo and in the living room and set up the microphone in different positions and tried to figure out where it would pick up the audio the best before we left. So I did some preparation, but it was pretty hard to kind of guess as to the levels and whatnot. But it turned out fairly good.
Yeah.
And also, thank you to Boz for looking after our hairy small monsters while we were gone.
Oh yeah, and Boz, if you are still listening, we have some sort of surprise for you.
Oh,
So
yes,
I want to
tomorrow.
know. I want to know if you guys meet tomorrow or
Yeah.
we meet, because I will.
I'll bring that to work anyway, so I'll have it there. We have some stuff for Boz.
Some stuff.
And Board joined us.
Oh, hi, Board. Nice.
Hello, Board.
So,
The Norwegian Viking.
so you differentiate like there are Swedish and Norwegian Vikings.
Of course.
Is this how it works?
Of course,
then.
and Danish
Okay.
ones.
Danish ones as well.
Not only one, but I think at some point like 13 kings in Norway. And
Well, at the same time.
yeah.
Wow.
So it
Says
wasn't
something.
an actual country yet.
And we had like common kings with several countries, like with Austria and Poland. So we kind of shared kings. I don't know what you people did, but oh my God, history.
Yeah. Well, once travel actually got to be a thing, you could get out and meet more people and discover that, oh, well, we kind of share our values, so why not band together and do something funny?
Or why not? Let's go for an election to be a king. I guess this is how it works, or this is how democracy started. 13 kings, whatnot. No. So yeah, it's quite an interesting piece. And talking about some history here, Yoda had an interesting request, and he apologizes that this is an Atari STE music. And interestingly enough, this is Aceman and Pumpkin Hop, and this music was released on Silly Venture 2016 and also ranked first place in the music competition. Aceman also did an arcade remix, as far as I'm concerned. It was him. He is a Polish bloke, and this party took place in Gdańsk, and I was there. And an interesting detail about the party, that they released some... that was an Atari focused party. So first of all, it was focusing on Atari things, and they did an own branded energy drink, and it was written on the energy drink that we don't with Atari logo, obviously, we don't recommend consuming it by Commodore bastards. So I didn't. but yeah, Aceman is good, and here comes Pumpkin Hop for Yada.
Yada yada.
the Bling Bling Bling, did you hear anything of the song?
Yes.
Okay, because it was quite an amazing one.
Yeah, it has a nice swing to it.
Yeah, and Michael was telling to his wife, right? Oh, come on, Sandra, that is not fair. We talked the whole show about music, Prague, and food. Then I said penis, and you came into the chat. What the hell is wrong here? I have to ensure, Sandra, we only talked about chocolate penises.
And boobs.
And boobs, yes. But
They made vaginas as well.
Yeah, he was also asking if we bought something like that for boys. Not quite.
No, not quite.
Not really, no. It's...
Different.
I understand, different. It would be also an original something, but we came up with a more original something. Hopefully so.
He'll know tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed. We will let you know next week then when he got it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. So nice things. And yeah, Gdańsk is a beautiful city too, by the way, where this party took place. And if Spawacz is still with us and listening, he lives there. And it's also the city of the functioning Commodore 64 in that car repair shop that they have. So this is where the Commodore...
Is it still...
I'm not sure actually if it still works, but maybe he would be able to tell us soon if he checks in there. I don't know, but that is definitely the city. So
Definitely.
And I didn't hear of many Atari parties out there, but I think Poles were strong with that because Atari was for some reason more popular there than at other countries.
Yeah, it's like in the UK, the BBC Micro or whatever was very prevalent. It was like everywhere.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the Commodore 64 took over after a while, but still.
Yeah, still, it's like it can vary from region to region, I guess. So. And my God, I was just checking the lined up songs here. If we still want to play everything.
What is everything?
Everything that we...
All of RKO?
All of
That'll take a
RKO,
while.
no. Almost. We won't go that way now, but we have 2 quite nice songs coming up, and I guess that's it for the evening then. So
I guess so.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe I should start to play the first one because both of them are over 6 minutes.
Yeah, that might be a good idea then.
Okay then. So the first one is LP Chief's request. Second one, Hello, Ziona and Slaygon. How about playing some Berserk and Magnetic?
Berserk.
It's been a while since I heard this, especially as a request. So why not?
Why not? Let's play it!
Yay!
no limit with you.
We do it better.
Hi.
Wow.
303.
Yep, that was quite a nice amount of 303 there.
Indeed. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
So,
This was the last request of the evening because, well, okay, technically the next one is also a request, but it's your request.
yes.
So it doesn't matter.
So it was
doesn't count.
literally the last request that we got on the request list.
Yeah,
So
it was,
that kind of worked out nicely.
Yeah, that was sharp, like the orchestra playing and
Yeah.
leaving at 6 sharp. So yeah, this is how it works. But yeah, we had a really great time, and we really hope that you might had it too while broadcasting, and if you hadn't, you still can check back how this thing has happened. And if you don't want to go through these long videos, because they are quite long, right? It's like 8 hours.
No. God, no.
No, not the individual videos. But how did you do the sessions? I haven't checked it.
There's about 3.5 hours in the morning, and then about 3.5, 4 hours in the afternoon.
Okay.
On Thursday.
Okay.
So
Right.
yeah, those are the long ones.
So yeah, they are like more like inside videos how a recording session like that happens. Because I guess I don't know who wants to hear this as a background music for 3.5 hours, but maybe there are some people out there who want to do that.
Yeah, the good part is that if you do like a certain tune, you're sure to hear it several times in different takes once they get to it.
Yeah, then you can listen to it repeatedly, and if this is not the case, then you certainly can get your hands on the final product later on, the double CD that is a result of the 8-bit Symphony Pro Kickstarter project. So
yeah, I've heard a few early mixes by Alistair Brimble, who's doing the stereo mixes on these. They are starting to sound pretty good now.
Ooh. And before that, they didn't sound bad either. So you can imagine.
Yeah, they
wow.
were very dry, and it's kind of Chris Abbott is doing the picking of the parts that he likes of the takes, and then sending that off to Alistair, who will then do the stereo mixes and mastering of that. So yeah, the early ones I heard was that Green Beret and one more track that I can't remember now, but anyway, sounding pretty damn good.
Yay! I have to ask a technical question here. what's the pronunciation difference between Alistair and Alistair?
You just say Alistair.
Jesus, this is confusing. You just cannot write down the name of the guy who actually did the entire like instrumentation and
The
wow
orchestration.
and orchestration. Sorry, yeah. So the orchestration part, his name is with a D. So Alistair Pickering. Alistair Pickering, but then I should pronounce it as Alistair. Hi, boss.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just a fun fact. It's but yeah, the guy is absolutely young and amazing, and it's like I just wonder what kind of career he already has. Like he is like early 20s.
Yeah, he's off to a very, very good start, and you're gonna hear some of his thoughts on the interview that we'll put up. I guess within a week or so, somewhere close to a week or something like that. Once I've edited it and all that shenanigans.
And Michael, it's not Mr. Brimble that we talked about here. It's like the...
Yes, it was.
I mean, we talked about...
Alistair Brimble is doing the mixing and mastering.
Yeah, but with the name Alistair, I don't have an issue because it's already familiar to me. But Alistair is not. It wasn't until the point of the concert, right? So this is why I got so confused. Because I know a few Alistairs, but I didn't know an Alistair before.
Well, Alistair Brimble spells it differently from Boz's Alistair as well. Alistair Brimble spells with 2 L's, like Alistair.
Right, you're right. Oh my God, how could I forget? Yeah,
3
right.
Alistairs, 3 spellings.
In case you would get confused, never mind. Yeah, but yeah. All the guys are doing great job with what they do.
The 3 Musketeers.
Yeah, it's enough to remember all of them are doing great job with what they do, and that's enough. But I guess that would be enough for us too.
Indeedims.
Because it's almost 11. Of course, we started 3 minutes late. Sorry about that, but...
It is 11 now. Not almost.
Yeah, it was almost 11 when I checked the clock, okay? That was those seconds
I
right
know, it
before
was like
11.
3 seconds off.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
He always finds my weak spots. Anyway, so, final song, your request.
Yes, my request, which also happens to be the name of the show. And one of my favorites from way back when, I think it was 2005 that this was released. I have to check now. Recovery. September 2005.
And Glenn also had quite a few things to do with this project, so...
he orchestrated Firelord.
Yeah, right.
I think he may have orchestrated one more, but definitely Firelord at least.
Yeah, it's a trademark of his anyway. And as a goodbye, I of course don't have to mention that if you want to enjoy more live shows at the evenings, then you can always go to bossradio.com and /schedule. You can find the shows happening by Ziduder, Kizikoni, and Wenchi and Bry, and that's interesting. A guy with a mic. Monday. Join a guy with a mic. That's we should check this out.
Isn't that Cactus?
No, Cactus is on Tuesdays, and it's definitely not Cactus. And Boss thinks in advance, unlike us. He already added his next show. So on the 4th March, Wednesday, you can have a regular hum show of Bosses. So these are the things, and also make sure that you write 7th of March into your calendar, and Saturday evening at 8 there will be the Roti Awards 2019 show where the winners and the top remixes will be announced. So Save the date.
3 hours with the best of the best.
Best of the best of the
Of
last
2019.
year. Indeed. And broadcasted both on Slay Radio and SceneSet. So, I guess that's it for now from us. And see you next week, I guess. Yeah, right?
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Commodore 64,
Commodore 64,
Commodore 64,
8-bit, no shit.
Slay Radio.